Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to NinjaTrader Live. My name is Jim Cagnina. I am the senior market strategist. Joining me is Tracy Shuchart, senior economist for NinjaTrader. In today's hot commodity segment, we're going to talk about crude oil, gold, corn, and the Japanese yen. But before we get started, we need to talk about previous Fed meetings minutes, which hit the street.
Yes, so we had Fed minutes at 2 p.m. Obviously, it was not a market mover, but we'll go over a couple of the headlines. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But basically, they reiterated it. They are taking a cautious approach amid uncertainty. They thought tariffs were higher than they expected them to be. Interesting. They said that dollar weaknesses attributed to concerns about the effects of trade policy, and they saw a recession almost as likely as the main forecast. So they still see a recession somewhere, but are not willing to cut rates at this point. Pretty much it was, they lowered a GDP growth forecast for 2025 and 2026. So again, kind of what we talked about this morning, market's not moving really on bad news. It only wants to hear good news. But again, they didn't really say anything that we haven't already heard from them in the first place.
So, Tracy, I got to ask you this question. I mean, why does it take so long to get the minutes released? I mean, you'd think they could record it during the day, and then the next day, maybe somebody calls somebody a bozo. Well, they just edit that line out and they publish it. Why does it take so long?
I don't know. This is just what they have been doing. A lot of times people look at this in case something comes up in those minutes that perhaps wasn't discussed within the statement in FOMC. And so, but really there was nothing this time. I don't know why the market even considers these important at all. I never thought they have been important because they're a month old, but for some reason, generally on these days, we do see, markets kind of sideways until these minutes come out. But there was, again, nothing really in there to move anything. So.
All right, all right. Well, let's talk about crude oil then. And we did have a little bit of a bid today in crude oil. Is there anything unusual going on?
Yeah, so in crude oil, well, first we had the meeting earlier today. It was the JMMC meeting, and basically, this is not a group that makes any sort of decisions. This group just makes recommendations to the group. So there wasn't really a lot discussed into that. They just kind of reaffirmed their declaration of cooperation that they signed on December 16th and reaffirmed the overall crude oil production for all members as agreed to on the December 31st meeting. Basically, it was a big nothing burger. For some reason, and I talked about this morning, that this is not the meeting they're going to talk about output, but for some reason, the market was expecting them to talk about output and to see what July, or maybe give a clue to what July was. It didn't. The market actually liked that because numbers weren't discussed about that. Again, you're going to have another meeting on May 31st, and that's going to be OPEC Plus to discuss output hikes. And then on the 1st of June is going to be that group of 8 that has those additional voluntary cuts. And that is the group that is currently adding production back from those cuts. So the July 1st meeting will probably be the most important one that we want to be paying attention to. But markets like the fact that nothing was brought up about additional production. Sorry, couldn't. And then what we had is Trump came out and says U.S. has enough petroleum from other countries other than Iran, and U.S. can do with significant reduction of Iranian petroleum supplies. And markets really like that. We shot up almost $1 on that. So that's what went on in the oil markets today.
Wow. Okay. So then the daily chart, I just kind of tightened my area of contraction a little bit as you were speaking. Literally, I have resistance at about 62 half, $62.50, and support down around $60.81. You can see the moving averages are flatlining straight. So is my anchored VWAP. Today's a big candle though. It's a relatively large body candle compared to the previous 9 or so days, but we've been in this range for about 10 days. We'll see if we could break up or down. Stochastics don't tell us anything. Intraday, really quickly, we had that Mentor Q 1-day max to find the top of the conversation, and that's at 62.29, 62.30. R2, we never saw it again, and a lot of times we're seeing that pattern where that 1-day max gets hit, but the R2 does not get hit, especially in the commodity markets with those Mentor Q numbers. Ever since the London initial balance, we've caught a bid. We've been above that VWAP, and that continued up until this very moment. So yeah, crude oil looks pretty strong today. We'll see if we can break through that upper part of the hamburger bun tomorrow. Let's kind of pivot over to gold. Gold is a little bit more subdued today.
Yeah, gold is a little bit more subdued. I kind of just wanted to, nothing really has changed in that market. I mean, I guess the most notable thing about this market is that we haven't seen a significant decline in prices, even though it's been a risk-on environment in the equity markets. And we talked to Daniel Lacaille this morning, and that he mentioned that. So that is something very notable in this market. I think even though we've kind of been sideways and have had some pullbacks, we haven't seen a big move downward. So that says a lot for the strength of this market.
Yeah, well, I mean, today we have a baby body of a candle. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I just wanted people to be aware we did have roll on that, and we do have a gap below that looks like it's going to fill. A contract.
All right. Well, yep. And we see that on these commodities all the time. We have a small body candle today. Big seller's wick on top, though. It did bring us back down a little bit. We're still above the 8 EMA. We're still above the 21 EMA. They're still separating. They're still sloping up. That's pretty good. So is the stochastics as well. So right now we're kind of not even to the midpoint of the previous session's candles. So I'm not too worried about the downside here on gold. Intraday, there's that gap that Tracy was talking about from the rollover gap that we saw. Right now, we're trading below VWAP ever since the London initial balance. I'm sorry, the U.S. initial balance. We sold off, and sellers are in charge. Never quite got down to the pivot. Decent volume profile, not picture perfect, but not bad as well. And we never got down to JAX2, which is 3,300. On the upside, yeah, we have some upside targets, but ever since we kind of left R1, and you could see we had about 2.5 hours worth of resistance right at R1 earlier today, pre-market. So we're kind of settled. We're settled in right now. And Tracy, I wanted to follow up with the Japanese yen. We talked about it with Jason Shapiro today. I'm going to pop up a chart here. Anything new?
Yeah, so overnight we had big news with the BOJ. So first they had a bond sale that was lackluster, to be kind about it. And the 30-year yield jumped 10 basis points following that auction. We do have the dollar up today, but the yen has made an outsized move to the downside comparative to the move in the dollar, and it's mostly due to what is going on here. The BOJ is also holding paper losses that have hit a record. So since BOJ has been hiking rates for the first time in 20 years, they've amassed largest amount of unrealized losses on record from its government bond holdings. And those numbers just came out. So, it's kind of highlighting the challenges it faces in unwinding more than a decade of extraordinary money easing. And that is also putting pressure on the downside on the yen.
Yeah, I mean, a nice kind of retracement. We had, I don't know, a several day rally here. The moving averages now are confused a little bit. They were arcing up and crossing over, and now they're going sideways. We're almost to that 50% retracement level, not quite on a daily chart, but this is the second day in a row. Most notably, this reversal candle here yesterday was a decent sized wick, seller's wick at the top of the candle. That kind of defined that kind of move in the yen yesterday, and continuation selling today. And it does look like the stochastics are poised to cross under. That could be further bearish signal here as well. Intraday, well, relatively tight range intraday when you look at it this way, but we never even got down to S1. We never got down to put support, and we never got down to that 1 day min. We kind of crossed over or under, I should say, of that anchored VWAP, approximately 8 to 8:30 this morning, and never looked back. Sellers took charge at that point in time. Jax 2 is an interesting level here, but again, I don't think we'll get there by the end of the day today. Remember, there's two sides to a currency pair, and it's evening time in Japan. Let's go ahead and hit on corn really quick. What is going on in the corn market?
Yeah, so corn's made a significant move to the downside. Today, we've got record production in Brazil. We've got U.S. stocks. U.S. is experienced elevated corn stocks of over 2.1 billion bushels. That's 25.9% above the 10-year average. So we have a surplus of corn right now. What's also interesting is that corn is you make ethanol out of corn, right? And then you put that in your car, and we're burning food essentially. But ethanol production remains solid. But the thing is that we've got narrowing profit margins and increasing stockpiles. So that's kind of dampening the demand for corn used in biofuels.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have a question. It's probably for the gas buddy guy, but you'll probably know this too. When I was driving from the West Coast to the East Coast, it seemed like as I drove east, more and more gas stations, you didn't have a choice. You had at least 10% ethanol in your fuel, take it or leave it.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of, they are uh, talking about making E15, which is 15%, year round now, to soak up some of that excess corn that we have going on right now. And there's a lot of arguments to and from that. We can get into that at a different time. But it is an interesting conversation.
Yeah, awesome. All right, we'll leave that. We'll just the daily chart here speaks for itself. We had an attempt of a rally. We didn't get up to the 50% retracement level. That rally has failed. Resistance is up here at 462 three quarters. And this sell-off was pretty big. There's no wick at the bottom of this candle. I'd expect continuation selling again tomorrow. And I'm also looking at the stochastics potentially crossing under as well. So it's looking bearish there. So that is today's hot commodity report. Tracy, thank you.
Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the chat.
All right, all right. OrderFlow Labs is in the house. We have XYZ, Nick for Tick. Good afternoon, gentlemen. How's everybody doing?
Good, good.
Good, Jim. How you doing?
Pretty good. By the way, also on my cross-country trip, we drove past quite a few Bass Pro Shops, by the way.
Oh, literally just noticed his hat. I was like, what?
Anyway, any of you guys in a trade right now?
I am in a short.
All right, all right. XYZ is in a short chat. Welcome. Thank you guys for being here. And I'm going to pop in the chat as well, guys. So good luck today.
Thanks, Jim.
All right. So, in a short, we've taken two off. The rest, sitting here, 5 lots. Gonna give it to 94 half, 95 area. See if we can get further down. I wanted to take profits at POC. We fell a little short, so I covered two as it kind of like found a little snap bid. So I'm holding on to the rest of the five. If it stops me out, it does. If not, we'll be looking good.
You got short right as I was, I think, coming into the green room, and I think saw
I
that
got short
single pop above
right,
500s.
right. Yeah, it was like when we got into the green room, so
Yeah.
had time. It was literally right here. So what's this? 11:19 my time, 2:19 Eastern. Then we got that nice wash like almost immediately. I thought it would be the one that just goes to the POC and then starts poking lower towards the distribution, towards the edge, but kind of grinding it back up and decided to hold on for. I mean, the stop is tight. It's not risking much. The reward is good. So we'll
So,
wait and see what happens.
uh, oh, okay. I can fix that. My charts, I guess, are not showing in the background, so let me fix that for a second. I have a feeling you had an either very good scalpy morning or you didn't take many trades.
I actually did not take any trades in the morning. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've not traded the morning because there's gonna be a lot of days where you get to your desk and you look at it, you're like, this is trash. I'm not gonna interact. And then you end up interacting with the market anyway, right?
Yep.
Something happens or whatever. Today I actually, yeah, you wake up, you're like, this is actually garbage. And then I ended up just not interacting, just doing other things throughout the day. And so this is actually my first trade. So So no, I'm all good now. I'm all good now. But
Yeah. This has been, I mean, I probably past Nick, like less experienced trading Nick, would have probably tried to long these lows about 400 times today and been chopped up and pretty miserable by the afternoon. So I'm thankful I caught I mean, a couple $100 on on like the tail end of this short, just because buyers didn't seem to be able to do anything, and then I did not re-enter. So we'll see if we can find a trade here during power hour, but I am not optimistic. The reaction to the non-event that was the
yeah.
FOMC minutes, and now we have the CEO of SPY himself on deck with his earnings release. So we'll see what Nvidia brings after the bell, but I have a feeling we may just be kind of stuck in this value area that is a whopping 10 points on ES. And I think about 40 on NQ.
Yeah, speaking of 10 points, that's kind of what kept me out in the morning. I noticed that you really needed like top tick, bottom tick entries to even just get a scalp.
Yeah.
So, I'm always okay if the range is like this, if the market's like this, I'm okay with scalping. I'm willing to scalp, like yesterday. But today I realized the market can move about 9, 10 points and it will pull back already, right? There's just so little room even for someone who scalps like me to get good edge going. Um, you know, it, I would expect no less than 10 points on an NQ move to make it worth taking the trade. And if you're going to get 10, what's your risk then, right? If my risk is 10 for 10, I'm not interested. And I couldn't really find good access into the markets where the risk to reward was actually worth it.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, it's pretty bad for me. I mean, maybe some people in here made plenty of money scalping or nabbing edges, but no, I just couldn't really get anything like that going. And eventually I
Unless
just mentally checked out.
unless you took the stab on NQ up near the top of the balance range for the last few weeks, like looking at the last, 2 weeks of volume here, like unless you were feeling dangerous and wanted to short those highs this morning, there really was not a great entry. I mean, if you got into there above 500s and kind of wrote it down, kudos to you. But I was not even at my desk when we kind of sold off that. So tough to find a decent spot to even get short off there. I wasn't quite ready to be the first person to look to short off what could have been us breaking out of that range a little higher. So
Yeah, by the time I got to desk, we were it's like we'll say 10:30 Eastern. We were already doing what everybody hates. And at the time the lows weren't really like on the volume profile, it wasn't really like a resolved taper or decent excess
mhm.
even. So I was like, well, I don't want to short down here, but I don't want to long seeing the lows. So yeah, they did sweep it eventually and then decided to chop back in that range again. But I'm like, I'm checked out. Like I don't want this anymore. Right now, what I am noticing, so what kind of gave me extra conviction to want to short as they peak outside the range and outside of the distribution was ES's low is still, I think it could use some work. It's not to say that, yeah, it's a low that needs to be, resolved and they're gonna do it, but there's a degree of likelihood. So as NQ makes its attempt outside of the range, outside of the distribution, if they happen to fail and show weakness, I'll take it back in through to the POC. First two lots got cut short of the POC. I probably covered around VWAP somewhere. And now I'm sitting on the 5. I might have to do it again. We'll see, because last time they poked it, it was a pretty fast blip. I don't want to hold 5 lots for another round trip, so we will see. As price inches towards that area, I might hotkey cover some. I might, if they really get it going, I might hold it. There's some good offer coming in here, so gonna see if they can hold it without being exhausted. But they're getting there. They're putting in that real effort right now, and it's not really moving. So I'm gonna give it a little bit more time and see. We're going. It's holding. Still offer. Offer is looking good. Reloading. Bid isn't too firm yet, so it's looking all right. And see if they can tag me out here at POC. I'll cover one here. Oh, what is this? No sell stop, please. All right, so down to 3.
Nice.
Looks good. Oh yeah.
Did
Next
you
one.
reload on this after the initial short about 20, 30 minutes ago when we were coming in?
Wait,
Like,
what's
did
up?
you
What was that
add,
question?
did you add back in after taking some off?
No, I had that 7 and I held it because as it went back to my entry, it didn't really do too much. So I was like, I don't really want to put that risk back on because now I'm happy to. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
I love how, oh gosh, okay.
All right, I'm down to 1.
News?
Buy to cover 2. How do I get rid of this? Cancel order.
They
Okay.
waited for us to trash talk this entire
Oh
session.
my.
Just
All right.
dumped it. There's got to be news, something.
I'm gonna keep this here. Yeah, I'm out. I don't want any more of that. So that's plenty of money for me. I don't know how big of a move that was. Let's see. What was I in like?
It was almost 100 points.
Was
Oh,
that 100 points?
the sweep on NQ from 500 basically. So yeah.
Cool. There it is. Banger. Um, I totally knew that was gonna happen. Definitely knew it. Something I do all the time, very often.
Well, it's funny. We were talking about those lows and yes, and I was waiting for like SPX 5900 to get swept at some point today with us kind of lingering on those lows. And of
Mhm.
course, they waited and traversed the
Yeah,
entire
so
day's session and range in 30 seconds.
jokes aside, I had no idea that was going to happen. Anyone who
No.
is telling you they did is a liar. And I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that gift from the market, and that's
Right place,
that.
right time.
Yeah, it's a decent cover there. Glad I held on to that 5. Yeah, it was about a 6-point risk at that point. So I did have the risk higher. It was the new swing high, and after I covered the 2, I lowered the risk, and they came like within a point of taking me out there. So I kept the risk there, and then I don't
Exactly
know
what
what to do but laugh about that trade, honestly.
that was, I mean, when it happens like that, it's kind of funny. I feel like that's happened to me maybe like
Like,
twice in my
what can you
trading
do but
career, but it
laugh?
was like almost instantaneous. Like after the entry, you just get that like gift of a god candle that just completely hits your take profit and just flushes or just pops at the exact right time. It's
Yeah.
unpredictable. One of the reasons I love trading is that things like that happen randomly.
Yeah, this can go way further, but I'm always going to be happy with the cover because it really extended past my plan. And I always try to frame my trading on what is the trade, right? It's not, okay, this is going on. I need to be able to adapt while the trade's running for more. I like to just take it trade by trade. When the plan plays out, maybe you have a piece or two on, and you gauge what the market's doing, right? But when it's doing that, when it's that behavior, it's probably news driven, likely. My plan has played out, and it's good profits. I'm just gonna take it. And I'm not gonna think twice about it. It's just it helps me stay consistent. So yeah, you might have someone holding from where I was previous day high, and they're still holding on to it, and they're making like $16 billion, but that's not gonna be me.
Are you saying my two minis is not moving the market?
I can't say that because, well, literally, you flushed it. Yeah, that's guys, I don't know what to say, but that was just lucky. And sometimes the market does that for you. Sometimes it does it to you.
Mm-hmm. And when it does it to you, that's why you use stops.
Stops.
Yeah, what are stops? I mean, you could have been in that trade like all afternoon too, and then finally gotten the flush if you were patient, I guess.
Yeah, that's when timing is, it's all about the right timing. I don't
You
like
could have
sitting in the stuff. And Tracy
short
says there
around.
was no news. So it really was Nick's two lots.
Yeah, I covered. I'm sure somebody else covered at 500, and just we liquidated the market.
I'm looking at chat. Thanks, chat. I appreciate the kind words. It was a banger, but the market really carried that trade. I
I
will
was
say that
waiting for
much.
someone to chime in and be like, Nvidia's earnings leaked or something.
Yeah. I mean, okay, the only thing I can really give to that is the first attempt was here about 2 hours ago to reach outside the range. They failed it. This was the second attempt, and if it's not going to work and they get back in the range and they fail it again, which they did on that pullback, there, there's a price to be paid. Everyone in OFL knows I always give the same analogy. When things like that occur and you fail to break, you come up, you retest it, and you can't reclaim that same high, you're going to likely pay a price. And it's going to be nasty. And I think there was good confluence with the ES lows. And then the people in the black van decided to dump the market. It is what it is.
Gotta hit the reverse button there, dude.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy, right?
Right back into the range on ES.
This is a pretty, that sell was almost the biggest sell of
Volume
the
since the
day
open.
since the open. Yeah, it looks like. So they're probably going to pay a price if they've already tested it twice actually. Could not make a new law for that. Where are we? Back in this range. So as this distribution just continues to grow and grow, it's like it's a more magnetic force. Price is going to be, you know, it's going to be tough for price to break away from it and start to build outside of it when every single time it does so, there's not enough interest. So the market's constantly telling you, hey, every time we're outside of this distribution, no one really wants to push the gas. And then they're going to spend more time inside of it, build it out further. When we come outside and the market goes, I'm not willing to buy here. It's like, well, okay, let's go back in then, where people are willing to buy. And then when they go downside, the sellers are like, I'm not willing to sell here. It's like, all right, well, let's pull it back up into where there are sellers then. So the market's really just trying to find where they can, do business. And the volume profile is telling us exactly where they want to and where they don't want to. Got to be good to be lucky. Chill guy. It's good to see you. XY needs more likes for that trade. Yes, please, if possible. Please give us
Don't make
some
me go full
likes.
influencer. That one caught me off guard. Dio, nothing ever happens, and then something happens, and then we're back to nothing ever happens.
It's like the we're so back,
Hmm.
and then we're not back, and then we're so back.
It's so over,
It's all over.
and then we're back. See, you
Yeah,
could see
chill
that
guy
a
might be
little
good luck.
flush, a little flush. It's so over, and now we are so back, right back to initial bounce low.
Well, they got both the overnight low and the overnight high. Cannot say I saw that coming. Definitely not.
Almost back to your entry too on NQ.
I know this is
That's
actually
crazy.
insane. It's insane. We went from, yeah, the day doing absolutely nothing to covering almost the entire day's range in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We're about halfway through the range, yeah. But the whole distribution, yes, that'll do it. And
Dio's ready
then
for summer trading. And today was a great example of
today,
what those random days in July can feel like. Or if you can catch a few points, great. Go out, get some vitamin D, go touch grass, go sit by a pool somewhere if you're a trader, and then maybe come back for power hour. Do not sit there in the middle of the day sometimes. This is what you get.
yep. I mean, a lot of times, even power hour, I wouldn't be surprised if that was that, and then we just do what we did for the last 4 or 5 hours again until the close. If no one's willing to drive this thing anywhere, which yeah, we haven't seen yet, yeah, we might just be glued here. Yes, yeah, ES's profile looks. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's not like earlier. I would say this is quite some excess here. NQ. I feel like that was a pretty telling piece of information, a pretty telling event in the market where, yeah, we just aggressively drove out and it's just all taper, hardly anything, and we fully accepted back in the range. So upside, we can tell from throughout the day, all attempts failed, not enough interest, and we just found our answer downside too. So um, theoretically speaking, if no one's willing to push either way, we're going to trade in value forever until summer's over.
I love that. We literally just like reversed that entire candle. Just hilarious. On a 5 minute, you see it, and it's just like, oh, okay,
By the
that was fun.
next.
If you blinked, you missed it.
His name of is this a meme stock, says Cody? No. It's a new coin. NQ coin just dropped. NQ took out last week's high this morning by a few ticks in reverse. Yeah, it's rather unfortunate that we are trading inside of Globex range and unable to break outside of Globex range. So hey, it is what it is. Um I've got a few JPEGs to sell you. Yeah. Chat, I don't this is if you're looking for more trades, I'm not sure I can give that to you with this activity here. The market kind of closed the door on a lot of things with that failed break lower. Sometimes you just can't do much.
Literally took us all day to take out the overnight low.
Check
On
this
NQ.
out though.
Look at
Wow.
that balance.
And then they poked out of it,
Just
barely swept the range, and then, well, we're back inside. Auto plot. Yeah, but this is the fact of the matter here. Yeah, we might need to put Chill Guy under contract. Might pay off fast too.
do you play the top of the value area again?
Wouldn't be a bad one. Um, but coming off that low, things can change because now everyone knows
Mm-hmm.
the market is not willing to go lower. And that often means the market's going to test higher. Yeah, just the market's always relaying information to you. You know, it's our job to take it for what it is. And right now, the most recent piece of information is lower, probably not. And if that's the case, we'll see what happens. Um, Well, we've never seen Chill Guy and Stowe in the same room, so it could just be a burner. He might be on a laptop with the burner account. Yeah, the tape has gone really positive
Yeah.
since that. So yeah, there could be, I don't know what the, yeah, I wouldn't say there are any stuck shorts on that. Just a liquidation move into triggering stops probably, and then back up. But volume wise, I don't really see stuck shorts. So that would indicate, okay, maybe they can have a good upside move with some fuel, right? With stuck shorts, but not much is indicating that to me right now. Just exhaustive, and then that's it. Call for new high of day. In
God, I hope not.
an hour. If it
I
wasn't,
mean,
if it was,
it probably comes after the bell.
yeah, that's the thing. If we had more time, the market could certainly and likely would do something like that, right? Because you just got your answer the whole time. It's like the boogeyman is down here. The boogeyman, you come down there, there's nobody down there. The market's gonna figure that out and likely auction higher. But in an hour, I don't know. They're gonna have to really drive this thing. I mean, the delta's very supportive. I'll say that much. It's a healthy move. They're putting in volume in the move. It's not impulsive. Might look impulsive on price, but on order flow, it is not impulsive.
Well, Stowe's
Um,
long's 420, so we're probably going to make a new high of the day
for spite,
or spite.
if he's long for spite, his TP must be at 23K like yesterday. Vengeance. Um,
And you ask him, you're gonna say, "Where's your take profit?" He's just gonna respond with higher.
he's just gonna say, I can't see it. It won't fit on my screen.
I get regrets.
That's a new one. I haven't heard that one.
They are just loaded up with sound bites behind the scenes.
They're
Just
gonna make a
trigger
nice like a
fingers.
library and sell it as a collection.
There's some good ones.
Yeah, so this could be a great example of utilizing market information, right? For the rest of for the whole day, there was this boogeyman down low. Turns out there's nothing down low. There's no boogeyman. So, and yeah, you got the proof. It's not much volume. This is a really great example of how to utilize the volume profile on a really choppy balanced day to get some edge. So from here, we know from prior information above RTH open, there's not too much interest. There's not too much of a build. But if they start to build, right? They start to build and they hold above prior range, which is, I would say, the 490s. I would not dare short it, especially with the information the market just gave us. There is no scary boogeyman that's willing to interact with lower prices.
Or I think we need the Creed soundbite at this point.
Can you take
Oh boy.
me higher?
Yeah.
There it is.
Stowe is definitely riding this higher.
I mean, we've traded more range in the last 15 minutes than we did the entire session,
The entire
basically.
day. Yep. I think the likes helped. I would want to think
How
that
are
the
the
likes
likes?
did
You got
something.
500 people in here and 83 likes. What is that?
Injustice is what it is.
There will be no high of the day without more likes. I can promise you that.
If you guys don't do it, Stowe's gonna sit in his new chair and pout for the rest of the day. Delta is still supportive of this move, so very cool. Very cool, very American. That last 1 hour bar was an interesting bar, and we have since breached it here. So this is not unexpected, right? We've got like no activity outside, RTH open on the upside, and they're gonna find some passive sell. They're gonna find this and that, but it's whether it's going to be the one that drives us back into the range. I have my doubts. So although this could pull back at any moment, I don't think I think lower might be out of the question. Uh, Ahmed asks, "Are you in a trade?" I don't think you're not in a trade, right?
No, no trade for me yet.
Stowe's in a trade. Finally at the OR mid. Got a long way to go still. Till 23K. Yeah, this is unfadable. Delta is still strong. They are building volume on the move. This is not an impulsive move. So if they, yeah, I would be at this point, maybe open to longs, depending what they do from here, where they go. Yeah, Stowe, you got 50 minutes. 50 minutes for another 1,500 points. I think it's doable. Quick scalp. Still just buying. They're just lifting the offer. You could see it on this delta. Delta by price right here.
Can they give us a pullback to like 490s to potentially buy this?
Mm-hmm. That would be a decent area for sure. Unless they fail it. Yeah,
I mean, ES so far is kind of run out of steam above 5930s.
Oh yeah, ES is the decision point too.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I
see if
mean
they
they're
fail
likely.
it, and maybe you're 10 points of value traverse again. But NQ still looking strong.
Yeah, now it's only a matter of time when they pull back, and then you kind of see what happens on that pullback. If it's just a pullback, but
Yeah,
they're still
we
buying.
need NQ needs Leo's 5 minute opening range mid to leave the room.
To delete itself? No, I
Yeah,
learned
it
this new
needs to
trick.
just disappear.
Chat taught
Otherwise,
me
we're
a
gonna
new trick
fail.
yesterday. If there's a line on your chart that's giving you troubles, just delete it.
All right, let's see if this is that pullback towards yesterday's high. Potentially see if we find some buyers showing back up there. Doesn't look like it though. Yes, looks a little precarious on that failure there.
Yeah, ES has not proven itself there, so this could be a failure. Dicey for longs for now, and on shorts, I'm not in a hurry because if it is going to fail, we've got some decent range that we can go through. Decent as in decent in comparison to the day's range, but it's looking like they could hold this thing. 490s did see an actual buyer soaked in against the bid and actually lifted the offer out. So this looks promising right now. Firmament, yeah. No, it's you can just move your entry. Like you move a stop, just move your entry. You need level 4 data for that though. I recommend paying for
Oh,
it.
here we go again.
Failed poke. Yeah, they trapped quite a bit.
Right back to the
Mm.
point of control.
Okay, so well, no access for that. That's nice. Sometimes the market gives you access, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, story a little bit. I mean, the failure at the opening range mid too on NQ, I guess. But once again, a slap, and that happened pretty quick out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's because not enough people deleted the line.
Yeah,
You guys need to delete that line. Make sure it doesn't exist anymore.
That's all it took. Just got to delete the opening range mid.
All right, let's see what they do here.
Yeah, right back. Okay, I will say this: we are getting better volatility in the last hour of the day than we had the entire session.
Let's see. Let me try this short from here. Only 2 lots on this one. It's looking decent. Let's see where I want to cover this.
Yeah, jeez.
Let's see it. What about like a 10-point stop on this ish? See if we can get to value area low. POC is getting real sticky here. I'm covering one POC. We'll see if we can get to value area low on this and wipe our hands clean. I'll put my stop right here. 5-point stop now, 4.5. See if we can get a decent 40-point move. Went from no trades to 2 for 2. Can't complain. I'm gonna move this stop now. Comes and gets this. It is what it is.
There's just been so much volume. I mean, the entire day's volume basically right here.
Mm-hmm. Buyer at these 73s.
Yeah.
If they can hold this, yeah, we're gonna get a nice flush. 73s is what I'm looking at for order flow right now. Looking decent.
Did Stowe cover at the opening range mid? Is that why this happened?
Stowe, wellness check. Wellness check. All right. Let's see if they can wash this. I'm ready to start covering maybe. Covering this last one. As soon as I see an actual buyer lift some offer, I'm gonna just cover it from here. There's offer lift, but it's not too big. All right, I'm cover that. Cool. We're 2 for 2. That's a nice little 2-lot. Yeah, if I had a better entry, I can get more size in and hold for better extension with extra legs on my trade, but I don't think the market was going to give me much higher. Well, it didn't, and I wasn't willing to put on what like 7 lots at that point. I'm going to need better price. I don't want to. I've said it before. You don't want to overpay for access to a trade.
Plus,
Ticket cost is ticket cost.
you need more likes for a 7 lot.
Guys, we just fired off 2 trades. Can I get some likes? Something's wrong with the stream. Yeah. It must be a bug, right? It's gotta be.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
I thought
Yeah,
my
that was a
charts were
decent
frozen.
short.
No, yes, just isn't moving.
Yes, it's still stuck in that range too. Well, I'm glad I covered there because if they don't poke it through now, it's going to be a full on round trip if I held it. I was in what, like the 80s somewhere. Decent. For today's range, it's good. I'm happy with that. How often is Nick for a tick on here? 3 times a week.
Yeah. Mondays, Wednesdays, usually. Sometimes we play a little tag team just to fit everyone's schedules, depending on who's got what going on during the week. But usually Mondays and Wednesdays, and then you're on with me Sunday nights for the Globex Open here on NinjaTrader Live.
Hey, that's the name of the show.
I don't know who behind the scenes, but you're just nailing the soundboard
Who
today.
is, yeah, who we
I
still
don't know
don't know.
who's got the magic fingers behind the scenes today, but crushing it.
Yeah, we still don't know who's behind the scenes. They won't tell us. They won't tell us. Um, what made you take the last short? Was it because NQ came back inside? Yeah, so I guess to preface everything, I always wait around for the market to do something that provides good enough information to execute with, like to give you some edge, right? So on the whole move up, you'd notice I'm just like, oh, there's so much buying, there's like no selling. They're just driving through all the passive selling. And it isn't until they had that big move down, and sure, it's like a big move down, but it's not like I wasn't fully convinced that it wasn't going to hold at some point and just pop back up, right? Because they did extend further. But on the way up, they started to really stall. They couldn't really pull price back outside to this area right here, right? Through this node and up to where they were building, they couldn't pull price back into this range. So I decided, hey, look, I'm seeing order flow here. I'm willing to risk. I had like what, 10, 9 points? I don't remember. Something like that risk for pretty good downside runway, right? And that's why I took that trade. So 2 lots because it's not at a location that's as cheap as I'd like it to be. So I don't want to risk too much. Um, and so yeah, that was the trade. The market gave us that answer like, hey, coming upside, finally trading above RTH open, where prior we know there's not much activity and a lot of buying got put in. And if they're buying aggressively like that, why are we trading under all of them now, right? Aggressive move down, come back, and they can't get back into where the buyers were buying. So if the market is strong and this is where buyers are buying, by the boatload, and we're trading under, and we're still trading under, they can't get price back into it. It's going to be well, not it's going to be, it's likely to be a failed break. I wanted better prices. They weren't able to pull it up high enough, so I tacked on 2. And it just happened to work. If it was going to be a failed break, we're going to go back into this range, right? Starting with POC. And then I wanted value area low, which is around here, but they are stalling. So of course they can still go, but I only had 2 legs. I covered one and around POC, and then I covered the last when, hey, they just stopped being able to poke lower. So I'm going to collect the money. At that point, it was close to 25 points already. If you mind the day's range, that's a good payday. So Voodoo, it's a good question. Thank you for the question. I hope that answers it clearly. If there's any clarification anybody wants, feel free. The chat really keeps things going when the market isn't going. Do you prefer Heikin-Ash chart? Yes. Uh, it's not whether it's with or without OFL tools. I just prefer it um, for my execution time frame, which is 1 minute. Cleans up a lot of the price action, and it gives me a good just a visual temp check on momentum, right? What color is the bar? But yeah, all else it's normal candlesticks, and I'm looking at a lot of time frames, 5, 15, 1 hour. What indicator is that? Indicator. Which one are you talking about, Art? If it's this bottom one, it's called a tape reader. tape reader. It's an OFL indicator. Can you explain use values when stepping into the market in the AM? Yeah, I wouldn't imagine it's too different. When you step into the market earlier on, right? I would say maybe the first 2 hours. Yeah, you do have to consider Globex volume. Okay, these are full day profiles. If I had a TPO, I can give you a better idea. But I think a good example was, give me a second. A good example was yesterday. If anyone goes back to yesterday's session, you would find that in Globex, they made an attempt at the lows and eventually it ripped like crazy. But at the lows, they did build volume, right? Um, am I still here on stream?
All right. We still got you.
Still got me? Okay, yeah, everything just died on me for a sec. But yeah, I use the profile to see where volume was in Globex because that's the more recent activity. So if yesterday there was stuck volume, a good node at the lows, and at the open price drove down right into it, right? And that's going to be the decision factor. This is the volume that led to that big up move pre-market. If that volume is what the market tells us it is, or told us it was, volume responsible for a good hold and a push, you should expect the same, right? It should hold, and it did. So I think that's a pretty good example. Or if it's like a double distribution Globex profile and you're going towards one edge of a distribution, mind that as you would an RTH profile. Because right now, the most recent information is that Globex profile. And if we break away from it, it could be easily an extension. And if price comes back to test it, if it's going to extend, you can look to hold it. So same rules apply. Indicator for know when to buy and sell. It's proprietary. If you Venmo me $1,000, I can get it to you. Uh, what is the profile besides volume profile? That is the delta profile, delta by price right here. It's like a volume profile, but it's only tracking delta, and it resets every so often. So right now, every 60 points in a rotation, it will reset is what I have it for. Yeah, so Corey has basically the explanation for it right there in the chat. Thanks, Corey. And also, hi, Corey. Tape reader, yes. No, tape reader is a histogram of the time in sales, like literally. So volume delta, you could say it is volume delta as well, because it's the time in sales. It's literally market orders. Um, one time X won't cover it. No, it's 1K for the next minute. Afterwards, it's 10K. I think NT does have a TPO. I think I just don't have it up here. Love and
Okay.
appreciate the channel. I appreciate that. We appreciate that. Can you make screen more readable? I would if I could. I don't know if this helps. Let me expand stuff. I don't know if this helps. I know a lot of the streamers, like apart from the OFL guys, everything's really zoomed in. When you're using price only, you can keep your charts super zoomed in and your candlesticks are big and stuff. But for us, we really need to get a good bird's eye view of the market, which is why you always see me with a scrunched in chart. Don't want to get lost in the sauce, you know? So yeah, I don't know if this helps. We can leave it here for now. But if I'm looking to execute, I need to see the full picture so I don't find myself in the wrong side or committed to a wrong idea as the market's telling me otherwise. Scott, we appreciate that. If you guys haven't liked the stream yet, please do. It helps us in ways I don't quite understand. Nick's the professional streamer here. I'm just a dude. Maybe he can tell me later why it matters.
With like the algorithm, other stuff, search,
Yeah,
populating
just
the homepage for people that are watching trading videos and such. A
so
lot of
typical like
things.
engagement, like socials,
Yep.
engagement algorithm. But yes, please like I don't know how many viewers are in here. I can't see or how many likes we've got, but
Also, hit subscribe if you haven't. We're on a quest. I don't know when we're gonna hit it for 100 subscribers.
are we? We've got a
No, I
quota
have
we need to
absolutely
hit.
no idea. I just know that's like, and then it probably the next big number.
You guys need to help us out or they won't let us go outside to see the sunlight. Please. Rebates from YouTube. Mm. I'm
Yep.
secretly the guy behind behind the production. Yeah, I don't think so. So what do I see into the close? Exactly what we're seeing right now, this range.
Chop.
Yep. Maybe even this POC. Yeah. Until the market convinces me otherwise. And until the market convinces everyone participating in the market otherwise, you got to take it for what it is. We cannot extend this range. We cannot extend outside of this distribution. And price keeps coming back to where everyone wants to do business, which is on the upside, not enough buyers willing, downside, not enough sellers. The market's only job is to find buyers and sellers, and they are all in here. Well, okay, look. He says XY has so many watches so he can keep track of how many hours he's been in Jim's basement. I'm gonna tell you guys the truth now. These are all Jim's watches. I swipe them when he's not looking. I scalp them when he's not looking. I got a nice one today. I got the Prezi today. Jim's, don't tell him, by the way.
Whoa.
And it's just snag Jim's presidential today. That might have been why we got that nice short out of nowhere that I totally planned for. Totally knew.
Just like you drew it up.
Just like just like we drew it up. Yep. All according to plan. What's up with the Bass Pro Shop hat? Well, two things. I like Bass Pro Shop because they give very good prices on projectiles, we'll say. It's really easy to pick up, and it was $6 after tax. That'll get me. It's like on the way out, you look to your right, you're like, hey, there's a bunch of hats. Like, wow, it's $5. Yeah, that'll get me every time. So yeah, if you guys are thinking I do like the other manly stuff, like fishing and like all that, like the camping stuff, it's not for that.
I pegged you as a huge outdoors guy.
Deli missed our trades, man.
I'm in a
You'd have
small
seen it.
long, just kind of playing the bottom of the old range.
Yeah, it's not a bad play because it doesn't look like they want to extend it, honestly. My favorite jacket is full metal. Yeah, hell yeah. Fishing stream. No, I don't fish. I literally buy one. I go to one section at Bass Pro Shops, and it's just that section. It's a great section. It's the greatest section. People always ask, why am I always in that section? Target 21,420. Stowe, can we get a wellness check on Stowe? Is he still here? Is he still long? The hat section.
Hmm.
Honestly, it's pretty comfy for $6 after tax. It's one of my better purchases for sure. I like it. Yeah, Leo, it's a wide range. You got to keep everyone on their toes. That's the thing. Volatility. Everyone likes volatility.
Are we going to hold these value area lows?
Well, this 1 minute or this 1 hour candle just totally killed itself.
They gave us the little snippet of volatility, and then here we
Yeah,
are, stuck.
it just killed itself.
XY, you ever been in a Bucky's?
I've never even heard of a Bucky's.
It's like the
So
Disneyland of gas stations. They're all over.
there's a Disneyland of gas stations.
If you could put it in that classification, that's what it is.
There's this it's always on the way to and from Vegas. There's this gas station that's a huge, like gigantic candy store, and it's like a touristy thing, and I forget what it's called, something's World. And I always thought that would be the Disneyland of gas stations, but I guess not.
No, if you ever make it out the interstates of Texas, you'll pass one eventually.
Yeah, everyone loves it. I'm looking at the chat, and everyone just, how do you say it, Bucky's?
Bucky's, yeah.
Clearly, you're not a baller.
Am I in Vegas? No, I'm in the
Bucky's
LA area.
Bucky's is like if Disneyland and 7-Eleven had a baby. That's a great description.
Eddie's World or Eddie World. That's the one. That's what it's called. Brian definitely goes to Vegas. So, um, but no, I'm not in the Vegas area, but where I am, it's about a 3 hour drive, so kind of.
And I got stopped out on that long.
Oh, they're poking down now.
Mhm.
Yeah, Norse, you ain't wrong. Being in LA, it's tough to have the best pro shop hobby for sure, but yeah, you stay up to date with stuff. You know what you can and can't get away with, and it is what it is.
Or you can just move to Texas and not even have to go to Bass Pro Shop. It just shows up at your door.
Yeah, and you can get all kinds of cool stuff. Jealous. Did I program the indicators myself? Absolutely not. It's OrderFlow Labs. You guys should check it out, orderflowlabs.com, if you want these indicators. Yeah, absolutely not. Bakersfield. No, I'm not in Bakersfield.
See if this wants to make another attempt to fall back in this range.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, honestly, trying to nab a long down here would be definitely what I would want to do. I just hate that it's 20 minutes to close, 10 minutes till the algo. Yeah, it sucks that the market didn't really give us this kind of activity earlier on in the
Right.
day. Silver lining, I guess, they gave it to us during the actual stream, so it's something. Volume still building downside. If they can get some traction into the 40s, this can certainly cap the downside move. Leo is not lying. I can barely open a chart. Just before the show started, I had camera issues with Zoom.
He did.
Um, well, we did the time-tested, tried and true strategy of how about you just restart your computer, and then it fixed everything.
The equivalent of just unplugging it and plugging it back in.
Yeah, Leo is not lying. I could barely open a chart. One might think I'm good at stuff, but those who know I'm not very good at stuff. Can't believe Leo was here to out me like that. Have to blow on the cartridge, yeah. Your age is showing.
Yeah, of
Well, it looks like they want to do it now that the market's going to close.
course.
It's the best time to do it. Overnight low.
Through the tick.
There's not too much volume happening down here right now. Offer is reloading, but they're not pressing too hard, this offer. Not yet, at least. The passive one is stepping down, building a little bit of a node, a little cluster here. 58 lots, 50 lots, 25 lots, 60 lots against the ask. So there's buying coming in the 19s to 20s, or 419, 420. If that doesn't get rewarded, that's going to be what they need, but they're going to need to keep price under the 420 mark because that's where a buyer is right now. And if they can't push below that buyer, we have our answer. I hope Stowe covered some on that up move. I would think he did.
I would imagine we're back. I think he said 420, so we're back to his entry basically. But I would imagine he covered.
420 is still the mark. Above or below the 420s, it's what's going to be the deciding factor here. They're still trying to buy through it. They're still trying to sell through it. Two-way tape there.
Richie Rich, Nick, I'm thinking about moving to Dallas area from Denver. Are you thumbs up or down on Dallas? I'm very thumbs up on Texas. I've lived in Dallas for uh over a decade now. Gosh, crazy it's been that long. And I love it. I don't see us moving for the time being, so I would say that it's going to feel more big city and suburban in parts. Just kind of depends on where you're looking, but I like it here. Texas is great as a whole. I used to live in Denver too. It's actually interesting.
Nick's been everywhere.
I kind of am. I kind of was a transplant despite growing up in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I love the weather out here. Living
Yeah.
out here.
My parents are still there, so I do get to go back pretty regularly.
We're gonna try some longs into the close.
Yeah.
Just to maybe keep it a little tighter on the stop here, but I am instantly not liking it as I take like 3 points of heat. If they don't climb this up, I'm just gonna flan it for, yeah, that's it. I'm gonna take a 5-point loss. That'll do it. Nick does free briskets when you
Yes, free biscuits when you stay at my house. Unfortunately, hopefully just not the brisket I cooked on Sunday. I made a mistake of trying to do a very small sized like piece of one that was already cut, and that's a mistake.
Well,
Just
wasn't that
make
the
it better.
brisket's fault for being what it was?
I mean, yeah, it just was a cut of the flat and had like no fat on it, and it just didn't work out. And it still took like 7 8 hours, so it's not like I was saving that much time by doing a smaller one. I pretty much had to do all the effort anyway. So not recommended. Just cook the 14 pounder.
And unlike these guys, I can't even cook. That's another fun fact. I can hardly open a chart, and I can't cook.
Wait, what was that
It's
high?
tough being XY, guys.
35. Didn't even make a tie below to reoffer.
Yeah, I got out of that. I got out of that long real fast. I'm glad I did. Still willing to, I mean, 5 minutes till algo. Can't say I want to interact.
Are they going to
I
sell
lost. I
into
gave
Nvidia?
back 100. I gave back $100 on that one. Time to revenge trade it back. It's the only way.
Yeah, that $100 loss turns into 1,000.
Yeah. And then you sit in silence when the market closes, wondering
Yep.
what you did.
Like what happened? I blacked out.
I would, okay, if the market wasn't closing so soon, I would be interested in longs for sure. But in 5 minutes, they're not going to care what setup I just took. Guys, how are we doing on the likes?
I like it here. It's quiet.
Still just, yeah, they're definitely, they gotta sweep this overnight low further at this point, right? Soaking in
Okay.
100 lots at 410.
I mean, if they don't do it right now, maybe the algo will do it. I don't know.
Like the stream or Stowe sends you bread. Great. Now
I mean,
everyone's gonna unlike it.
that sounds like a great trade there.
What's the order flow saying? The order flow tells me that in 3 minutes, it won't matter what the order flow is. I think when it comes time for, the algos to kick on, they're not gonna care what setup is present. They're just gonna do what they do and close out orders. The market will move as it does, so I try to stay out of it. Mostly today, I mean, to put it in a nutshell, the order flow is saying um, prices outside under 440s is too cheap, and prices above 490s is too expensive.
Oh, got a little delta flip on that low.
Yeah, maybe they bumped their heads too much down there, trying the overnight low, and
Into the algo, though, who knows?
yeah, it's not even, yeah, I'm not gonna put on the risk. Otherwise, I would be very interested in grabbing some longs for sure. It would have been nice, would have been great longs. Yeah, the 413s down to the 410s. A lot of absorption buy side and actual aggressive buying. Put in some decent volume. Yeah, anyone in OFL, Leo's got the announcement. They're doing a deep dive on one of the tools today after the bell.
Nice.
New range. Market leaves this range, makes a new smaller range down low.
I did see one of my trading buddies was talking about a trend from the terror flows. And then it's like when the trend line breaks, you can just draw another trend line. And it was like literally just the market had like moved over a smidge, a few inches on his chart, and just started trending back up again.
Attention traders,
There
it's
it is.
algo time.
5 seconds, demo
There it
C.
is.
Ooh, and they're going for the lows.
Barely cracked
Nope.
it. Not enough volume.
Let's see. Okay, there we go. New low of the day.
Offer is stepping on the gas right here. They are punching it.
Violently.
They're not pulling the offer at all.
Who leaked NVIDIA earnings? The guys in the black van?
Guys in the black van. It's always the guys in the black van.
I mean, I think you can blame them for all of your problems in trading. Or unless you were long GME, then you'd blame hedge funds.
Is it NVIDIA? Is it a...
No, I doubt it. Is NVIDIA right after the bell? Or is it 30 minutes? I didn't even see.
The soonest is usually just 15 minutes after the bell, right? It's never at the bell.
Some are like minutes after, like
Oh.
30 seconds. They excuse me, the
They
press
just
release
release
comes out.
the earnings and then the guidance is after, right?
Yeah, guidance can be after, during their call.
After the earnings call, right? The numbers just come out.
Usually, a lot of people do. They release part of their guidance at least. I think we have Salesforce after the bell too. They just acquired Informatica yesterday for $8 billion.
$8 billion.
That's always interesting when I see random acquisitions in my old space from organizations I used to work with.
Back in the range for the close.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me.
Okay, that was fun.
Hey,
Now let's go back.
You know what? I was not optimistic coming into this session with you this afternoon after today's price action. I'm glad they saved all of the volatility and movement for you and I.
Yeah, throughout the day, I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do.
It's like
Don't know what
you're
we're gonna
thinking
do.
about it, like I'm dreading what am I going to talk about for 90
Yep.
minutes.
Yep.
We're going to talk about briskets and going to Bass Pro Shops apparently in between. Like, granted, we did that when things were slowed.
You
But,
talked about gas stations.
yep. I'm gonna get XY to a Bucky's if he ever makes it out here in Texas. He's gonna drive him. There's not one that close to me, so I gotta drive like 40 minutes.
How common are they? Like, are they?
They're not in like the major parts of DFW. Like you have to get out of the city.
Mm. Oh, it's like that.
Yep. Not like they're far, but you really are kind of leaving the Metroplex. Closest one to me, I think, is in Allen.
You said that's like 40 minutes from you?
Yeah, pretty much. When I go hunting, I always pass one. Sometimes make a stop.
Oh, you
Buy
gotta like
$150 worth of random things I don't need. Like
There was this
clockwork.
one time, it's so funny. In Hawaii, they have this like really popular cookie store. And my friends were like, "Oh, we gotta hit this cookie store. We want to bring stuff back." They have unlimited free samples. Everything has free samples and it's unlimited. And I'm like, "Oh man, they're in trouble now. They ain't seen someone like me." I'm in my head, my intention was to just exploit that and just eat a bunch of free cookies. And by the time I got to the register, I think we were about $130 in.
Yeah,
And
buddy.
to cap it off, another person comes by and goes, "Oh, before you check out, do you want to try these?" I was like, "Oh yeah, it's free. Of course not. Why wouldn't I?" I was like, "All right, put two of those boxes on this." Walked out, and I was like, "What just happened?"
Yeah, it's like
I thought I had them. I never had them. They
it's
knew
like
what they were
saying
doing.
you're trying to earn that $100 back. You're
Yeah.
suddenly like, what happened? I blacked out. I hit a daily loss limit.
Yeah, I just walked in there, got liquidated. Those are really good cookies.
Good job, guys.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
I don't remember what the brand is, Alex, but it's like a really popular cookie store or something. Store was huge.
So one of the things about Buc-ee's is every half hour they ring the bell and they bring out the brisket that just came off of the grill.
Yeah, they actually have
And
some pretty decent food there too, XY. It's not just
So you got to time it. You got to get lucky with the timing.
I mean, they
well,
literally
no,
have
because
everything.
you have
Ah,
29 minutes of shopping. I mean, you could buy shot glasses, t-shirts, teddy bears with Buc-ee's. Oh, you could buy anything.
My wife bought a leopard rug in there once.
literally anything.
So
What'd you buy? Cookies, brisket, and a leopard rug.
You don't have to go to Target anymore. You just go to Buc-ee's.
literally the amount of just things where that you 100% do not need that I have left that establishment with over the years and somehow spent $200 for no reason just because I was there.
Sounds like Target.
It's fantastic, man. We're
You
gonna
can't,
we're gonna
you
take
can't,
you.
you can't go without buying something. You can't
Exactly.
leave empty-handed. I think ours was we stopped at one. I want to say it was no, it was in Alabama. So it was in outside of Birmingham, Alabama.
Jaya says,
And
I
by
got
the
a
way,
hair transplant at Bucky's.
beef jerky. Jaboni says beef jerky's biggies, right? Look at
I
this
didn't know
E-mini
it was like
S&P.
that.
It's
Like spending 30 minutes shopping at a gas station. That really must be a
no,
Disneyland of gas
I think
stations.
people go regardless of whether or not they need gas. I think
Yeah.
they just go.
It's like a road trip destination. If you're passing one, you kind of stop.
Okay.
Even if it's just to go get snacks. And it's never just to go get snacks.
Hey, so how good you lived in Cali? You've had In-N-Out.
Yep.
How good really is Whataburger?
Overrated.
Hmm. Yeah, because you know,
I
out there it's like Whataburger, Whataburger. It's the best. It's the best. And I'm like,
To
I don't
me,
know.
growing up as a Southern California kid, it's the freshness of the way an In-N-Out burger tastes that
Mm,
nobody else seems to kind of match. It's the vegetables, it's everything kind of together.
all right. I just had to.
In-N-Out Burgers rock.
Look, they said
I mean,
production
okay,
says Whataburger
okay,
is the best.
easy.
No.
Somebody's lying.
I think it
Yes.
was Tanya who said like In-N-Out was mid, and I was ready to start a fight on Twitter with.
What? That can't be.
She's from New York
No,
though.
that's got to be AI. No, that wasn't her.
I'm not saying Whataburger is bad. It's just to me, it's
You
like
could be
another step
good
of
and
fast food for
overrated.
us.
You could be both.
Yeah, I've eaten.
Whataburger is like Burger King compared to In-N-Out. Okay, now I've got a good idea.
I think it's better than Burger King. I will say that.
By the way, we do have Nick was right. NVIDIA, we got Salesforce, we have Elf. I don't know what Elf is. We have Hewlett Packard coming out. And NVIDIA's conference calls at 5 East Coast time. They don't say when they're releasing the earnings.
Interesting.
And the S&P right now is just tapping on that 5,900 level, that gamma exposure level number one. It's just amazing.
Elf has beauty supplies. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. If it's the same one. Five Guys is better than In-N-Out? Oh, what a burger. Oh, okay.
I
I was
agree
gonna
with that.
say. I was gonna say that is no.
You get
So
peanuts
In-N-Out's
at
the
Five
best. All
Guys.
right, got it.
An In-N-Out burger is equivalent as a Whataburger Junior. Yes, but that's why you use the secret menu and you make it as big as you want.
Oh yeah, In-N-Out's got all kinds of modifications you can do that are not on the menu that level it up for
And
sure.
also, you got to know the lingo. Otherwise, they look at you like you're crazy. They have no idea what you're talking about.
In-N-Out number one in Baldwin Park. Yeah, still there.
I'm very thankful we have In-N-Out in Texas.
Wait,
By the
In-N-Out's in
way,
Texas now?
Yeah, they've been in Texas for a while.
Oh, nice.
Pretty much all over the Southwest.
Nice.
And by the way, if you're driving from Odessa to Abilene, make sure you get gas and food in Odessa.
That's not the most
6,000.
fun drive out in West Texas, I must say, as someone who's done it a few times.
Yeah, that's tough. So, do you guys want to hang out a couple seconds here? Just a couple minutes, see if NVIDIA comes out?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, Jim, that they don't have it posted when they're
I
going to
can't
release.
find it. Maybe Shai knows, but I cannot. I have it. All I have is their conference call at 5.
Oh yeah, we need
another
Shy
hour.
in here so she can tell us things. So we never
I know.
know.
I got so much smarter when she started working here. I mean, the bar was kind of low already, but
That means the only way is up. It's all good.
uh-oh, something's going on. Hang on. Or wait, maybe I got my wrong bar.
I mean, NVIDIA's
Something
not
just.
moving, so
What did you see Oh, I'm looking at a 30-minute candle. Sorry.
I mean, NVIDIA did basically traverse the entire day's range in that last 30 minutes.
Yeah, we're moving now.
Dude, look
Coming
at
in
that
some single
candle.
prints.
Are you looking at Nazi or E-mini?
Oh, I'm on Nas.
I mean, look at that candle. All the way back up to the session point of control. It's a perfect volume profile on the session, and we went all the way right back to that point of control. That's a beautiful thing.
420 they report. Don, I don't know if they do 4x4s anymore.
They still
do
do.
3x3s.
I got one last week. 4x4 protein style, and then another 4x4 not protein style, and an order fries.
Dude, something's not right here.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Dan. I thought it was at the bell, but
It seems like, I mean, NQ just rallied a gazillion points after hours.
8x8.
I mean, that's too much in one bite, sir. I gotta
That's
feel
too
like I'm
much
spreading
leverage.
it out.
That's way too much leverage.
Salesforce. Salesforce is out. Looks like I'm guessing a beat. Soaring.
Um, yeah, I'll share the screen.
It's probably moving our good old buddy in the YM. Yep.
I mean, are you guys seeing this? This is just a 5-minute candle. I mean, high to low, it's 140 handles.
Wait, Jim, that's NQ?
Yeah,
What?
unless I'm losing my mind.
Clearly,
Yeah.
clearly Jim's in from the future if that's about to happen. I'm still seeing us trading at 350.
Jim, quickly, up or down?
Bye.
No
I guess we're
no
buying
time to waste.
call.
Up or down?
There's still time,
So,
I guess, to buy
uh,
triple Q calls before 315.
well, hang on. Am I in the right day or what's going on here? This
Well,
is crazy.
that's weird that your candle printed.
He's got level 4 data. We were just talking
No,
about that
Jim
earlier.
Jim is the market maker.
I don't understand. Hang on.
Jim's
Something's not
exposing
right.
himself right now. He is them. He's
I've never
they.
seen that. That's interesting.
I added this guy's, maybe this guy's, no, that's a legit candle, dude, isn't it?
I mean, why does it does say it's trading at 470, but let's see. Everything I have, which is 3 different platforms with 3 different sources of data, is still saying 350.
Mhm.
All right,
360 now.
I might know the future, you guys.
I mean, if
Hang
there's
on,
one person that was going to do it, I would have put my money on you to have that.
Something's
on the-
fishy
yeah.
here. Hang on.
We're at 360s for me. Still down here. So
Yeah.
if the market holds here, this could be just
That's a
another
crazy thing.
pullback and then higher.
We're living
23K.
we're living in a simulation, guys.
Jim's trying to pretend he's not the guy in the black van right now, but we all know he is. It's too late. We all know you're the one in the black van.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna log into
Salesforce
my-
CRM double beat.
Hmm.
Yeah, so now my other platform is showing 380, 380. Oh, am I in the wrong month? No, we're still in June, right? Let's do this.
You have to disable level 4 data and re-enable your level 2.
Watch that be
Is
the futures close price at 470 after NVIDIA reports or something.
And then you don't hear from Jim ever again.
He's the van guys will get him. Okay, so NVIDIA is at 3:20 Central Time.
So like 15 minutes.
Allegedly, yes, 15 minutes.
I can't tell if Jim is not moving or his camera's frozen. Ah, that's the answer.
All right. So
Lost him.
looks like it's going to be XY and I closing you guys out here today. So we did have a beat on CRM, which is a bigger component, not a bigger component, but a component of the Dow. So probably why we're not seeing a crazy move so far off NQ. But NVIDIA reporting roughly 13 minutes from now. So we're not going to unfortunately hang out another 15 minutes and wait for our Lord and Savior Jensen's earnings to release. So everyone, thank you guys for all tuning in and hanging out with us here this afternoon for Trade the Close. We will be back tomorrow in the morning with the rest of the NinjaTrader team, and the OrderFlow Labs crew will be back tomorrow afternoon to trade the close with you guys. I think Stowe is even back for his mid-morning session as well, because tomorrow's Thursday, right? Yes, it is Thursday. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. Everyone have a great rest of your evening. Trade safe, and do be careful if you are still trading this with NVIDIA earnings coming here in about 10 minutes. So take care, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, chat. See you guys.